Welcome to the Longest Take podcast. Thank you for tuning in to the Longest Take podcast. In today's episode, we are joined by James Deveney. James Deveney is not only a talented filmmaker, but is one half of the best movie podcast out there, Raiders of the Lost podcast, with his brother Anthony. We are also joined by Sara Beko, a very talented, multifaceted professional. From stunt coordination to producing, Sara was invaluable to making One Klick. One Klick is the writing and directorial debut short film of James Deveney, an exhilarating, action-packed short. Please look out for it on November 16th, where it will be available on YouTube. Welcome, James and Sara, to today's episode. And this gets to be split for both of you. So all these questions are going to be for both of you. Not every single one of them, obviously, but, for both of you, what are your top 5 favorite movies?
I think Aliens and both of our top 5.
Yeah, Aliens in both our top 5 for sure. It's so funny because Sara actually asked me this today.
I did.
And it's an always changing list, but I'm going The Matrix, Alien, Goodfellas, Fellowship of the Ring, and what was the 5th one I said? Interstellar.
Yeah, Interstellar. That's the other one.
Beautiful.
Yeah. It's just tough because it's like, it changes all the time. Then tomorrow I'm like, oh, I didn't put a Tarantino movie in there. What's wrong with me?
Yeah, I do kind of hate this question because it is like it's always changing. Like if my top 5 right now are F1, Sinners, Alien, Django, and Shrek. Shrek is always going to be in my top 5 though.
Nothing wrong with that.
I love Shrek.
Yeah, I love that addition. Just totally different from all the other movies in your top.
Yep.
What are your 5s?
Good question. So my letter top 4, I'll do those. The Tree of Life by Terrence Malick.
Oh, hell yeah.
Nope by Jordan Peele. An Elephant Sitting Still by Hugh Bowe. And Interstellar is also in my top 4. And then my 5th one, I'll say the Before trilogy by Richard Linklater. I'll just lump them all as one entity.
No, I think Tree of Life is one of the best movies ever made, honestly.
Oh man, I wish I had the poster up right now. I got a poster from it because when I worked at the movie theater, the movie was released theatrically, so I was able to get a poster from there.
Oh, that's cool.
But you know how they do the Best Picture showcase at AMC's and everything? I went there to rewatch The Tree of Life because it was there, and people walked out and were laughing during Tree of Life, and it hurt.
Same when I saw it when it came out. When I saw people were walking out of the theater when I saw it. Yeah. It's a very meditative film, and it stars Brad Pitt. People thought like, oh, it's gonna be a Brad Pitt movie, but it's not like that at all. Like any other Brad. Yeah, it's a slow burn, but very philosophical, so not everyone can digest it.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then all of a sudden, dinosaurs. Right? There's a sequence. There's dinosaurs.
It's about life.
How have I not heard of this?
It's centered on a family in the mid 20th century, but it's really about life.
And it's got dinosaurs in it.
It's got atoms. It's got everything.
Yeah, no, it explores like essentially the creation of the universe. There's a whole creation sequence, which is probably like one of the most iconic parts of the movie. But so when you're showing like the birth of like the cosmos, and then it's like the birth of Earth, and then it's like you get like the dinosaurs and stuff after you see like the volcanoes, formating it, or the volcano formations, I guess. I don't know how to say that, but and then it gets back to the family in the 50s in Texas. It's really ambitious. Okay. But I saw it. I think I was the only one in the theater, me and my friend, back when I saw it. So that's why I was so hurt when I saw it at AMC. And it's like, because I was just like, I didn't hear Last and stuff before. I was able to be like the only one in there. And then it's like, oh shit, everybody's making fun of this. That kind of hurts.
Yeah.
But, I could talk for hours about that movie. So I'm going to try to steer us away from it. I absolutely adore it. But I think it's really cool that you have 2 movies from 2025. I think 2 movies, F1 and Sinners. Did you have another one from 25? But
no, it was those 2.
Yeah, because those I think are like some of the best made movies of the year. Like if you're thinking technology, the best, like, to show how far we've come cinematically. I mean, those two movies are incredible examples.
Yeah, blew it out of the water, especially F1 and how they filmed it and everything that they did. Just, yeah, insane next level use of camera work.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what, I feel like an idiot. What's his name? The director.
Kosinski.
Yes, Kosinski. I can't wait to see what he does next, because with Top Gun Maverick, he's like getting.
Oh, he's doing. He confirmed his next project. It's a remake of Miami Vice.
No way.
Oh shit, that's him. He's the one doing that. It's
gonna be Michael B. Jordan, and then Austin Butler's in talks, and that'll probably be the cast, and it'll be amazing.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see the stunts with that.
He's such a great filmmaker. I think he's probably the best action filmmaker right now up there. I mean, Tron Legacy is amazing, and when we were watching Tron Ares, I just remember thinking, like, fuck, man, I wish Joseph Kosinski made this movie.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. So, you know, switching gears, this one's more focused on James, but, you know, what was and I guess it could be this one, I don't know, but what was the first project you've done? You know, short film, etc., you know, and what was the genesis of that project?
The first project I ever did, I guess, was helping my brother on short film projects when he was doing film courses back when we were like 18, 19, 20. And then when I was 20 and we were both 20, we were pretty ambitious and we made a feature-length film together. And so that was a huge project for us at the time. And then basically moving to Los Angeles in 2014. And then eventually, you know, meeting Sarah on a movie in England after producing a couple of other movies and producing Anthony's last movie too, Midnight Ruin. And then when I was in England, I was ADing a feature-length Viking film, which was probably like the biggest undertaking I'd been involved with since that feature I did when I was 20. But I was working in production, but I was trying to fill up that creative urge I had to do something my own. And then that project was huge for me because I got a ton of experience as an AD on that set, where running a big production with a ton of moving pieces, especially the director was the lead actor, so I got to actually felt like I was directing a lot of scenes at a lot of times, which was a lot of fun. And that's where I met Sarah. And if I never met Sarah, I don't know if I would have ever made One Klick. And if I had made One Klick,
I think you would have, but it wouldn't have been the same.
It wouldn't have been dope as hell, is what you're saying. But yeah, I guess that was I just was messing around with Anthony on short projects when we were in our 18, 19-year-old kids, you know, just trying to figure stuff out. And then it's just led us to here. And it's been a long journey, and I did, you know, not pursue filmmaking for quite a bit in my 20s, which I regret, but also I wouldn't be where I'm at right now if I didn't do those kinds of jobs I was doing at the time. And so it's been a long process to get here and finally have my debut film coming out.
Yeah, and that's awesome that, you know, it kind of shows with your podcast, but the fact that you and your brother are so, I mean, you guys are twins, but just even your creative careers, just there's so much crossover. You guys always working together, you know, you're building this experience together. You know, that's pretty awesome to have someone like that to, you know, to be a part of your life.
Yeah, well, and Sarah's very much that part of my life as well. You know, she's a creative partner with me, especially with One Klick. I'm unfortunately, Anthony did The Mother this year as well. That was his latest short film. I'm not involved with that. He made that while we were in pre-production for One Klick, so we just couldn't really collaborate on that. But Sarah's really been kind of like my right-hand man, my right-hand lady the last year.
Like right-hand man.
The last year, especially with One Klick. So One Klick is as much my baby as is her baby, because it's the first film that she really produced as well, in addition to just putting so much time into it.
Yeah, and that kind of, you know, I just thought of a question here for Sarah, but, you know, in the capacity of a producer, what exactly does that entail for you? You know, not always just specifically on One Klick, but in general, kind of, what does that entail?
That's such a broad question, because every project is different as a producer. There's different, my scope of field is different on every project. Like how involved I get is always different. This one I was very, very hands-on with the process, like from start to finish. I was hands in everything, so I was very, very involved. With other projects, it's like sometimes I'm just handling the logistical stuff, and I'm not really super deep in pre-production. I get just enough info that I need to keep the production running smoothly and on budget and all that. But this is like the most hands-on that I've been as a producer for sure. So I don't have like a definitive answer for you. It's just changes every time.
Yeah, there's different kinds of producers, but with One Klick, Sara and I had to basically run everything. And your producer, sometimes it's just they're procuring the rights to something, sometimes they're handling financial stuff, putting pieces together. But then there are other producers who are a lot more hands-on. But we did everything. We did the wardrobe and and got all the pieces put together. So Sara was just like an every kind of producer beyond what independent film, you have to do that.
Yeah, for sure. I always like being really hands-on with my producing work, and like I'll get involved as much as I can, but not every project needs that from a producer. So it's just however I mold into the filmmaking process is what I end up doing.
Right. Yeah. I feel like it all depends on what crew you have and what like the production has at that point. And you mentioned it, but that's the reason I ask, is because especially on the indie level, producer could mean so many different things. It could mean even just financing or something, but when it's indie, you could be line producing, you could be right there, your hands in it knee deep, and it's just it's a very all-encompassing role, I think, on that indie level.
Yeah, she was legit running the set on day 2, so it's like there's a lot of hats were worn by a lot of different people on set.
Yeah, and I heard that you offered up an old car of yours for the film too, right?
Yeah, that's how the whole car explosion came about. This was my daily commuter car that had shit the bed. It was totaled, and I was like, this was before I met him too, by the way. I wanted to blow up this car in a movie before I knew that he was a thing. So
that I was a thing, a human being that lived.
Right. Human being in this world, yes. So when I met him and we had such a good rapport on Norse Game, and I read his script and I was like, this is sick. This is right up my alley. We could totally throw a car explosion in here. We made it work, and I'm so glad I saved my car instead of crapping the parts, because it was freaking epic blowing that thing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked great too. It really did. It looked fantastic. So it wasn't in the script originally. You looked at the script and you're like, let's get a car explosion. Let's go.
Was it? Was it your idea?
Well, basically, we were having conversations. Like, I knew you had this car. We were actually working on some friends' stunt reels, and we were like debating like how can we incorporate this, but we can't use it really because it doesn't run. Right. So we were gonna hit our friend with it, just like run him over with it. But we couldn't even do that. And then Sara had said that she always wanted to either use it for stunts or at least blow it up. And then I think one day I was like, Sara, how much do you think it would cost to blow up a car? And she was like, I don't know. I'm like, and then we were kind of like toying with the idea of like, why don't we just put it in the movie? We weren't even really, were we even at that point like greenlit ourselves mentally to make the film?
I don't think we were.
But you had read the script, and the script had no car explosion, and so basically we kind of just pitched the idea to each other, I guess, of like putting it in the movie. And then I wrote a new opening scene, which is just literally just 2 pages that has a car explosion. It's real quick, so within 90 seconds of the film, you get a car explosion. And so it's completely separate from the rest of the storyline too, which is why it works so well. And I use it as like an approach of like a horror movie where like sometimes the first 8 to 10 minutes of a horror film is oftentimes the blueprint of the rest of the film. It's just a condensed version. Scream is a perfect example.
Right. Yeah. No, I think narratively it definitely fit. I think it really, it's good to give like a glimpse into what that overarching story is later in the project. And two birds, one stone with the, you got to blow up your car. So
yeah.
Awesome. So, on the topic of One Klick, it's a very high octane, almost Running Man-esque in its approach. At least that's the vibe I got from watching it. With the angle you go with, like what in terms of writing it, kind of what was going through your head, what inspired you to write this specific story.
What's funny is when the first Running Man trailer dropped, Sarah like showed it to me. She's like, "Can you believe this? This is like One Klick so much, especially the watch." So
we made this before we even knew they were doing a remake of Running Man. Which,
whatever. But I mean, they're similar, but not too similar because Running Man's such huge in scope, especially this version's so different than the old one. But the inspiration from it was, honestly, I was out in the desert working on a project, and I just was looking out at the vastness of the desert, the mountains, the trees, the hills, the shrubs, and I really wanted to do a project soon, and I just didn't know what to write yet, because sometimes for me the toughest thing is coming up with the idea. Once I get an idea, I can cruise through a script, no problem, but like getting the idea and the genesis of an idea is sometimes the hardest part of when you're making films or trying to make films. And I thought and then it kind of came to me, not completely formed, but like the idea of a sniper hiding out in the middle of the desert hunting someone. And I've always loved The Most Dangerous Game. I've always loved, survival thrillers and action movies and horror, and blending all of those together. And basically, it sort of was formed right there, the first parts of the idea of like shoot it all outside to save budget, to do cool stuff and do cool action. And I respect short films so much because sometimes it's harder to tell a complete story in a short film. And short film's really cool because you can experiment with ideas and philosophical motifs, or you can really get existential and challenge audiences with cool ideas. But I just want to do something fucking gangbusters cool as hell, and I want to do some cool action and big budget stuff. I want to do big budget stuff on a small screen or a short film. And so
it was right up my alley.
Yeah, and exactly what Sarah wants to do too. And so basically from that point on, it was like, all right, I wrote this idea. It's a survival movie. It's basically The Most Dangerous Game contemporary mixed with Squid Game to an extent, and influence from great movies like Sicario is in there, as well as even Dune references. But I think that The Most Dangerous Game is really the main inspiration for the film. And if we ever got to make a feature, it'd be so much more fun to explore, because you get to see more of what's going on in terms of the ambiguity we purposefully leave inside the short film, because we don't want to be over expository and just show everyone every card that's being played. And so, yeah, it was just came to me that one day, and then it was just building the story, cutting so many bad ideas that had been written in the story until we got to the final version of the story back in summer 2024 to make it, because I wrote the first script in 2023.
Oh, I gotcha. And The Most Dangerous Game, is that the one with Ice-T?
Oh, no, I'm talking about the old
Surviving the Game. Surviving the Game is what I'm thinking. Surviving the Game.
I'm talking about...
Two different things.
Two different, yep.
Yeah. I'm like, Ice-T is definitely not The Most Dangerous Game.
Yeah. Have you seen Surviving the Game? I guess it's a... it's the same idea. Like, they send Ice-T into the woods, and then they hunt him.
That's a funny sentence. That's a funny sentence.
I want to watch that.
Yeah, I had that on DVD when I was like, I don't know, 12 or something, and I loved it. I haven't seen it since,
it like
though.
Pre-LA Order or SVU? Ice-T, or is it like around that, like... Because we've been on that show for a while.
Yeah, shit. Did he start in the early 2000s? Because I think this movie was early 2000s. So it might have been just around that starting time. But I think
I never heard of it.
Either one of the Buseys or Nick Nolte's in it. I don't know which one. I should probably look this up, but it's kind of similar.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, Surviving the Game. I think that's it. That's
Yeah, and I guess you could even say Hunger Games or Battle Royale are influences as well. The feature script definitely has more of a Battle Royale influence for sure.
Oh, cool. So you've already did you complete the feature script?
Yeah, the feature script's done.
Oh, dope.
Wrote that and finished that in February. So Sarah, we'll talk more about it if you want to talk more about the future projects, but that's something that I wanted to get done early this year.
Gotcha. And it's funny you mentioned Hunger Games, because The Running Man and The Long Walk, both Stephen King, and The Long Walk inspired through a couple steps the Hunger Games, because it inspired Battle Royale, and then Battle Royale inspired Hunger Games.
Which she'll never admit, but it clearly did.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Love that. So I've had stunt professionals on this show before, and I absolutely adore the craft. I think it's just so, like, the physicality, everything that they do, it just goes underappreciated. And I mean, the Oscars are going to acknowledge it, which is an amazing thing. What was the process like to have them star in the project? How was it working with them? Oh, sorry.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. Keep going with your question.
I'm sorry. It's all good. And like the physicality of the role compared to other people who might not be stunt professionals, just kind of what's the difference there, and how was it working with them?
I love stunties. They're my favorite people on set, and they're the coolest. They're the most fun to be around, and they seem to usually give you the most effort all around. And Sarah was very adamant about casting as many stunt people for acting roles in this film because we were asking people to do physical things. We're a SAG production, and if we got actors who could do their own stunts at the same time and vice versa, stunt people who can act, then it just kind of saved everyone. It made the film more efficient and saved money as well, but also because there's so many stunt people, they're really talented actors too, but they really get pigeonholed just into that's a stunt person. They only get cast in stunt roles, and it's like a never-ending typecast that they're stuck with for a lot of their careers. And we want to give those opportunities to people, and Sarah can speak more to those opportunities for sure.
Yeah, I mean, for me, being so hard-headed about trying to get as many stunt people involved, one, that's the community that I have been in for the last 7 years. So I have a lot of connections in that community, and I had a lot of people who like brought me up in my career that I wanted to give back to, and this was a good opportunity for me to do that in the position that I was in. But I want to say, without I think that there are a lot of really great actors out there, and I'm not dogging on actors at all, but there's a certain mindset that comes with a stunt performer that's just get shit done. You give them a task, they just get shit done, and they don't need to complain about it or whatever. We're just all going to make it happen. And so with how quick of a shooting schedule, how compact of a shooting schedule we had and how much action we had to do, I was like, we need a stunt mindset for the shooting schedule to work. Because it was a lot.
Yep.
All in one day.
And a ton of people on set were stunt peoples as well, who were even PAs, people helping out in other departments.
Camera people who were stunties.
Camera ops, everything.
Yeah. Even our production coordinator and crafty person was a stuntie. So it was just the community that I had to draw on, and everybody came and showed up, which was really awesome, and we had so much fun out in the desert.
And we had some really talented people too. Juliana Ramos Ortiz, who was our lead, she plays Selena. She's so talented. She's insane athlete. She's a black belt karate. She's an excellent martial artist, and she's a great performer, and she really brought so much emotionality to the film. But her pairing up with other actors in the film was so great because they're so technical. They don't need too much time to learn choreo. They pick it up so fast, and it's one of those things that we didn't really have to worry about too much on day of doing the stunt stuff, because we knew the stunt stuff was gonna land. Leia Cochet, who plays the dirt bike rider in the film, she does a great job as well. She has a great wreck that she kills, and she delivers a line as well, excellent as well. So everyone kind of just was an MVP in terms of focused on what they needed to do, as well as brought their A game, and stunt people tend to do that.
Yeah, I love that. And I feel like that efficiency, I like the way that you described that, because you could apply that to just other films in general. I think that a lot of productions would benefit from having that mindset of a stuntie. I didn't know that was a term for stunt people.
Yes.
But, all the way out here in the Midwest, I don't get that terminology. But no, I think that there's a lot you could learn from that to have on any production. Because, I've worked on sets in the past, and there's this idea of time management that sometimes isn't there. There's this idea of excess that's always present, and I've personally always been wanting to go at this thing with an efficiency to it, a get shit done, because I come from a manufacturing background, and that's how it is in manufacturing and shit like that. You just gotta just do the job, get it done, and let's work together and do this thing, because there's this the teamwork that you build when you're all accomplishing it. It's not a get shit done you're on a conveyor belt. No, it's hey, we're gonna kill this thing together, and it's gonna be great, and we're just gonna we're gonna get through it, you know. And I think that that's an awesome thing to hear about how it is working with the people that you worked with.
Yeah, and Sarah and I think do a great job of fostering a very disciplined and motivated environment. You know, we work really hard, and that trickle down. Yeah. We're aware of the trickle down effect of leadership. How hard does leadership work? And Sarah and I bust our asses, and that leads to everyone else being like, "Oh, damn, they're busting their asses. I better bust my ass." So like, it's a great community feel, I think, on set when you're working your butt off. Everyone else sees that you're working your butt off, and it just leads to more people working their butts off, but in a positive way. And everyone wanting to work together that way, and everyone wanting to, you know, do what they can to make the project work.
Yeah, and I think it always helps when you see that your lead, your boss essentially is going through the same shit that you're going through. It's like, you know, like, okay, if you're suffering, well then shit, I'm suffering too, or multiply it, give it to me. You know, it's that sense of leadership that I think speaks to a lot of people. And it really builds, like you say, it builds that strong work ethic.
Yep.
So I definitely, you know, I think that that's a good sign of a filmmaker, is to have that relationship with the people they work with. And I think that's something that will go far in this business because, you know, once you start working with other people, word of mouth goes around like, oh, I just worked with this guy. Yeah, he was awesome. He worked harder than I did, you know. It helps.
It's an interesting industry because, you know, when you get to a specific level, it's really just like top level names that you know, like, you know, the writer, maybe you know the director, you know the stars, but so many people work so hard on every project, and it's really those connections that really facilitate, especially from a directing standpoint. Like, I have my vision and I know what I want to do, but I can't deliver that without a ton of people facilitating what I want. But that also attributes to my communication skills and being able to let everyone know exactly what we're going to do and what I need.
Yep, and it takes a village to get something like this done. You know,
it takes a village.
It takes a village.
It takes a village. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, as it pertains to action films in general, and I guess, you know, kind of what you look for when you're putting it together, what do you think is like the perfect recipe for the perfect action sequence?
That's a good question. I think action sequences, they're specific, you know, usually to the director or the filmmaker and the story, of course. But at the end of the day, I think treating your action sequence or your set piece like a mini movie in itself in terms of climactic beats is important. You know, you want to set the audience up for a trajectory of an emotional draw, but also blowing their hair back at the same time. I think the perfect action sequence usually for me is something that I've never seen before, at least tweaking something I've never seen before. I mean, speaking of The Running Man, Edgar Wright's a filmmaker whose action is just so unique to himself. Whether it's someone just jumping out of the window as a stunt double replacing another actor like in Scott Pilgrim, or what he's going to do with what he does with Baby Driver. But I think it comes down to telling a story in your action sequence at the same time as delivering spectacle, delivering something unique and original. And I think those all grew together to make something memorable. And that's, I think, what we wanted to do. You know, we didn't have huge resources. We didn't have a huge budget, and we only had 50 minutes to work with for the full film. But we think we put together some really cool action sequences that are unique that I've never seen in a movie before. And that's one of the reasons why I wrote them in. As well as just some of the set pieces are means for characters to escape holdings or bindings or something that's coming for them, for us a threat. If you can tie in the set piece to a means for escape, that was something that worked really well for us.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, kind of going at it in that sense, like you said, things that you haven't seen before, I think that'll really speak to the audience's reaction to it. Once they do watch those things, because, you know, I think everybody to some capacity wants to kind of be surprised or see something they haven't seen yet, or a variation of something that they've seen but it's different. So I think that's a really great way to look at it. Do you have do either of you have like a favorite action scene in like any movie, any sequence?
It's so hard to pick.
There's so many.
I think honestly, it is an impossible question because you say one, but it's like, oh, I forgot about this. But one of my all-time favorite scenes in general, which is an incredible action sequence, is the docking sequence in Interstellar. It's an absolutely incredible sequence because there's so much story involved in it. There's so many stakes. The stakes of humanity are involved. The spectacle is absurdly entertaining and engaging, and something again wholly unique to Christopher Nolan and his filmography in Interstellar. The whole sequence of Dr. Mann blowing up the ship, and then Cooper having to dock. The endurance onto it is just so shockingly cool. I've never seen anything like it before in my entire life. You've seen docking sequences before, but you've never seen a docking sequence where you have to match the spin of another spacecraft, as well as you have the entire future of humanity on board the ship. If you don't dock, you die, and the humanity ends. I mean, I think that's where it is like it has a great beginning, middle, and end as well, that whole sequence. But the storytelling as well is so powerful in that moment. It's one of my favorite sequences of all time. It's not combat, but it's still in my eyes an action sequence because the spectacle's so big.
Oh, 100%. And it's got one of the best scores ever by Hans Zimmer.
Oh,
like, hands down.
Absolutely.
Come on, Tars!
Come on, Tars!
So good.
But then, I mean, the crazy 8-8 fight in Kill Bill Volume 1. It's a close second.
That's really good, too. One of the fights that really stick out, just coming from a stunt perspective, the bus fight from Nobody.
Oh, yeah.
We don't need to talk about the rest of the movie, but just that fight in general was one of the most raw, brutal, and realistic fights I've seen in movies in a long time. It's like I was watching that and I was like, yeah, I could see this. Like, this could happen in real life. And the physics that they're using and the logic that they're using is super realistic. And it was just brutal. Like, that was one of those days that I know for a fact all those stunt guys went home with so many fucking bruises, and they just had to rub their money on their bruises because they just all ate all that shit. Like, that was raw and real. It was really well done.
Yeah. Have either of you seen the Raid movies? The Raid 1 or 2?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Of course.
Of
course.
Yeah.
So good.
Every time I watch those movies, I'm like, all right, someone died while making this at some point. You know, you look at some of those set pieces and you're like, how did they do this? And like everyone's still alive in it. Which like obviously.
Have you seen?
I'm
have
joking,
you seen the
but
one from what's it?
Extraction?
What's it called? It's a Asian movie, kind of like The Raid, and it's this one of this guy going up this staircase through this big building, and he's just taking out like hundreds of people as he goes. There's a bunch of high falls in it.
The Protector?
Man.
No, The Protector.
Tony Jaa. Yeah, Tony Jaa. Yeah, that's an older one too. That was like that predated both Raid movies, and he it's kind of like John Wick but with an elephant, right? I haven't seen it in a long time, but I'm pretty sure that like it has to do with an elephant. But yeah, that sequence is incredible.
Absolutely incredible. Yeah. Yep.
And
it's just like one major.
Yeah.
Like all of his practical effects. It's so good.
Incredible.
Yeah. And with the name of my podcast, The Longest Take, like one of the things I'm obsessed with are oneers. So
yeah.
You know, I absolutely love them, and that's why I named like the whole podcast off of it. But yeah, scenes like that are incredible. Both Extraction movies, from an action perspective, you know, they do a really good job, I think, of giving us that like oneer action set piece. The Raid does them too, not as often, but yeah, it's what do you think of Mad Max Fury Road from like a stunt performer perspective? I'm pretty sure someone died in that one. Because it's another one where it's like, Jesus, man, these guys are.
It's an incredible film. It's some of the most incredible stunts you'll ever see.
Yeah, the stunts are just kicking.
Arguably the greatest stunt film of all time. You could debate that.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, I'd put it up there for sure.
Those guys were really up there.
Yeah, I mean, and they were really on those cars. Yep,
they're superheroes for sure. Like just going through all that, I love that. I absolutely, like I said, I adore stunt performers. I really think that. You know, it's almost like a sport with how much physicality is involved with it.
Totally.
How you're beating yourself up too. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's very much like a sport in the team mindset too. It very much becomes a team.
Yeah, 100%. So let's dive into the technical prowess of One Klick. You know, on your own channel, you've done such a great job, I think, of breaking it down. You and Sarah talked, I think, over an hour together or something about just the process of making the film. But what are some of the favorite things that you guys have done, or like the innovations you and your crew have put together for this?
I would say, I mean, innovations, our cinematographer, Danger Charles, we have a sniper character in the film, and the scope shots were something that we were trying to figure out in pre-production. I was just going to do something safe like Clint Eastwood did with American Sniper, where he's really just using a long lens, and then they're creating a graphic on top of it. It's just camera lens. But then Danger is like, yeah, but I mean, we could do something really interesting, like hooking up a scope to our lens and our camera. And so he came up with a rig where he hooked up an actual rifle scope to the front of the lens, and it looks awesome. It looks so cool. You get the real sort of very long distance shots, the crushing of depth of field, but also like the almost warping of image. It looks fantastic. It definitely looks like you're looking down a lens. So I think that was something really exciting that we did. And then from there, innovations wise, we weren't really innovating. We were just like doing stuff we loved. Like dolly tracks, and then squib hits were a lot of fun to play around with, but we did we create our own squibs for our stunt actors to use, as well as off-camera PAs and special effects people to blast. But aside from that, I think those were some of my favorite technical things that we did. But also, my favorite technical thing we did wasn't the explosion, but it's the massive dust cloud we had to create in the desert, because that was a stressful thing to figure out, because it's so integral to the finale and the climax and the turning point of the film. And if we couldn't get a very large practical dust cloud, I would have been very sad, and we would have had to go shoot it again if we could have been able to. So it was something that we had to get. It was the most important shot. We got it in one take. But that was something that Sarah and I just spent, so much time R&D in the backyard figuring out how to actually practically make a dust cloud on a low budget film.
Yeah.
With no money, basically.
Yeah. So were you able to use the dirt bike that you used for the film to generate that dust cloud?
So the dirt bike narratively creates the dust cloud, but can a dirt bike create that much smoke? Depends. Gotcha. If you have maybe the most perfect conditions.
The answer is no. The answer is no.
No. The plan was always to artificially enhance the dirt bike tire spin smoke, which did generate a cloud, but we always planned to enhance it with other practical effects off camera. So there's stuff we're using off camera while the dirt bike's spinning to create dust cloud.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. What were some of those things that you used? Did you have industrial fans and stuff? Like, what did you use to kick up the dust?
Yeah, like fans, blowers. We had some special effects guns that we got from a special effects guy. That are actually meant for spraying dust, which was really helpful. But we had like 3 different things going to create this cloud.
Lots of pressurized air.
Yeah.
The thing with the fans, they don't work as quickly enough. Especially if we could afford it, we'd get the fans from Dune that are creating the smoke and dust for Shai Hulud.
Yeah.
But we didn't have that kind of a budget, so it's kind of like, all right, what can we get at Home Depot that could work? All right, we got some leaf blowers. All right, that can work. And then
bring out the fans.
Yeah, and then so we didn't use fans at all, because it had to be a lot more controlled. And the toughest thing to deal with was the wind in the desert, because we book a location. If it's windy, you're fucked. So it's kind of like we got lucky, because the second take we could not use. So it's like we got really lucky with our one take.
It was a one and done situation.
Yeah, that's awesome. And yeah, I think that one of my favorite things to hear about the behind the scenes stuff, especially on these, more independent projects, is just, you don't have the things that other people have. So you have to go to Home Depot and just figure it out. I think you said it best. It's all about troubleshooting, right? Or problem solving.
Yes.
When it comes to making a film. And I mean, I absolutely love troubleshooting. But yeah, at the end of the day, especially on that smaller level, I mean, that's everything you're doing. It's just it's problem solving one thing after another.
Yeah. And practicality, I think, leads to more creativity. When you're forced to figure out a problem, I think it puts you in a corner to creatively figure something out, which at the end of the day benefits the shot no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yep, I agree, and it feels more authentic too. When you watch it, someone watches it and you see that.
We could have had like CGI smoke,
right?
Or we could have, like got a download to do that, or hire someone to do it. But
us as humans, we can tell.
Yeah,
even if it's
100%.
just subconscious, we can totally tell. It doesn't feel authentic. It's like with AI and stuff like that, like there's like just this little inkling in the back of your mind that's like, that's not authentic.
Yeah, even CGI blood hits, they're high quality, but it's not going to match what you want. So we built our own squibs, we did our own blood squibs. It's never going to match the lighting or the feel. And, we were talking with one of our actors recently about it, and he's like, yeah, the actual fact that I could actually... He was the one controlling the squib when he got shot. He's like, I controlled it so I could react. It really adds to my performance, and that adds so much, I think.
Yeah, Vinny was talking about how he really enjoyed having all the practical effects because it immersed him in the world more.
Yeah, I love squibs too. Whenever I see like a legitimate blood squib, I'm like, fuck yeah, because everybody does CGI. They'll just put it in post, but just seeing it.
I mean, and I from a producer standpoint, I get it. When you have a budget like that, it's saving the time from setting up a blood squib, because they do take time on set. And if you have to troubleshoot something, that can eat up a lot out of your day. So when you have the budget for it, it's efficiently, it does make more sense to just do it in post. But you do sacrifice the look and you sacrifice the authenticity of it.
Yeah, we've done a decapitation before, and it's just I love special effects people, because just you've got the air valve, you got the tubing, and you put it in like the person's head, and you do like the whole neck cut, and just the whole process of anything special effects on set is just so incredible to watch and participate in. It's so creative. And what did you guys use for the fake blood? Is there just like a place nearby that sells it, or did you guys make it?
Our stunt coordinator actually has his own fake blood company, so we used his fake blood. It's crazy. So Greg is a chemist and a neuroscientist as well, which nobody would ever guess this man is that smart, but he is. So he has come up with his own chemical makeup of fake blood that's really nice. It looks good, and it doesn't stain. It does not stain anything at all, which is super awesome. But yeah, so we used a lot of his blood for the movie.
Does he ship his stuff? Like, can you order stuff online? Yep. Okay, give me a link.
Let me,
Send me a link later, and I'd love to support.
And Sarah says that you wouldn't think he's that smart because he's like a very funny, eccentric jujitsu meathead that could break your arm off if you wanted to. But he's the sweetest, nicest, funniest guy.
Sparkliest tracksuits ever. His nails are painted. He's super out there.
But he could kill you with his bare hands if he wanted to.
He could, yeah. And then just a genuine, really good-hearted human being.
Good guy, very funny.
Yeah, I love that. So with this next question, I kind of, I want to talk about the feature of One Klick, but before I get into that, what's a genre that you'd want to go after, outside of action? What's like that next thing that you want to hit?
Yeah, I mean, so One Klick, I wouldn't just call it action. It's a mix of everything. It's action, thriller, horror. Horror is something I really want to do next. But I kind of basically have ideas in multiple genres and scripts in multiple genres. Like I have a sci-fi that I'd like to do. But I think horror specifically is really what I want to kind of live in right now. I've got 3 really strong ideas and scripts and stories that I really love that are in the horror space. Different types of horror. One's kind of like a Faustian bargain horror. One's more of a found footage style horror. And another one's in a mystery investigatory horror, serial killer horror. And so I would love to get into that realm because I love blood and I love hardcore horror movies. It's maybe my favorite genre to watch. Science fiction has some of my favorite movies, but I think horror is great because it's so much more accessible for independent, low-budget filmmakers to do. I think because in like a bigger scale, definitely a bigger ROI, and it's more alluring to producers and studios right now because horror is booming. Especially low-budget horror is killing right now, and there's so many different kinds of ideas you can explore a lot more cheaply than like a science fiction genre, because sometimes science fiction can cost quite a lot because you have a lot of visual effects in post-production. I would love to like do horror, but keep action as like a main staple, and having really cool set pieces is something I really want to do. But yeah, horror is kind of, I think, the next move.
Yeah, and speaking of set pieces, horror and action, like how they all intersect. James Wan, I think, was I loved his kind of how he handles horror and then how he handles action, because you feel like there's that same cinematic angle for each of them. Like,
oh, absolutely.
How he sets up the scares, and then you watch Aquaman and the way that he sets up the fight sequence. Malignant, where he like marries it together. He has that one fight scene in the police station. I love that. But with like the Faustian angle that you're talking about for one of your projects, if you're a reader, you should read King Sorrow by Joe Hill. That just came out recently, and it's kind of got
King
that
Sorrow.
Yeah, it's.
Let me put it on the read list.
Have you read anything Stephen King related or any other Joe Hill?
Not for years, but yeah, I've read like Dr. Sleep, The Shining, stuff like that. Cujo back in the day.
Yeah, so this one is it's really good. It's got that Faustian angle to it, and
cool. I'll look it up.
Yeah, I love that. But horror also has such a strong community. You go to any horror convention, and my God, like everybody is just so into it. You don't see that for any other genre. You get fans, but with horror, it's just like it's the next level, especially with how popular it is now.
Yeah, and I think with horror, as long as you can show somebody, same thing with like when you asked what makes a perfect action sequence, as long as you show someone something new. When I go to see horror movies, as long as you show me something new, I'm happy. You can have a very mediocre film, or not be that great, but if you do some cool stuff, you really make me go, oh, that's really unique, that's cool, then I'll love it, at the end of the day.
I want to be grossed out. I want you to show me something brutal. Like if you can't gross me out, or you can't make me wince, I'm not about it.
Do you like the Terrifier movies?
I haven't seen them.
I honestly I'm afraid to watch them still. I've seen some clips.
You guys haven't seen it? Oh wow. Yeah,
I've seen clips, but I would literally be watching that movie like this. I already know. I'd be covering my eyes. Like even Bring Her Back, there are some sequences where I'm like, I gotta look away. So those are a little too intense for me, but I respect them because I know the horror people love it, and I know there's a huge audience for that. The thing is, it's one of those things where I would have no problem shooting it or writing it or making it, but then watching someone else's version of it would be like, oh, I can't stomach this. Even Frankenstein. There were a couple of moments when we saw Frankenstein today, Guillermo del Toro's theaters, and even I was like, oh, it's pretty gross. A couple times. Got me good.
There's some gnarly parts.
Yeah. So if you like being grossed out, I would say give it a shot, but I'm usually pretty good when it comes to anything, blood or gore, but when stuff happens to kids, that's I've got a 6-year-old, so now I'm ruined. Where anything that happens to a child in a movie, I'm like, what the fuck, man? Come on.
Yeah.
Because then it gives me anxiety thinking about it. It's like, damn it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Terrifier 3, spoiler alert, a couple kids die in it, and it's just like, dude, really? Did you have to do this? But I mean, just speaking of kids, Talk to Me and Bring Her Back. The Filippo brothers are also really annoying when it comes to what they do to their kids on set. Well, not on set. In the movie, not on set. They make a very, very comfortable setting for the kid actors, but what happens to the characters is always really the knife scene in Bring Her Back. That was rough.
Brutal.
Yeah. So with the feature, kind of, I guess are you going to be following? Is it going to follow the same main character? Are you gonna, are you opening up the world in the same way as the John Wick franchise? Kind of, what's your goal with it?
So the feature basically is a very similar story, but bringing more emotional depth to the why and the how, especially for, why are these characters? There'll be more characters that are, being hunted, but I wanted to really create an emotional connection to the main character and really connect that to why she's in the game, as well as some cool twists in there, but then also answer questions of who's on the other line of the phone call, who's manipulating them, who's creating the game, who's curating the events, and showing the audience that side of the world as well, which still maintains ambiguity as well as leaving a door open for future sequels or future iterations of the world. But basically just making everything bigger in scope, bigger action,
cooler stunts.
But I think
more fire,
more stunts, yes. But also, I think but making it more emotional, because the short film, you have 15 minutes, and like I was talking about earlier, you can be very experimental with your short films, and I think sometimes what we want to do with One Klick, it's we are leaving character on the floor for spectacle on purpose. Like we are aware of that you're not going to get as many strong dialogue moments, long speaking moments at all. It's a very action heavy film from start to finish, so we were very aware of that going in, because otherwise the movie would be 25 minutes, because we have to have that dialogue scene, but since that dialogue scene happens, we should have another dialogue scene here. So we basically stripped it of all the dialogue, so it's like watching Ryan Gosling in Drive at times.
Yep.
But we're aware of that. We did that on purpose, but the feature will explore more character and more dialogue, more emotionality, and connecting that all to the spectacle.
Yeah, that'll be really awesome. And are you gonna have a oneer in it?
Oh yeah, of course. We'll definitely have a oneer.
Oh, we do have a oneer. Yeah, we do have a oneer.
Yeah. Well, it opens with a oneer.
Ooh, can you talk about it at all?
I mean, what I want to do with the opening oneer, basically it'd be like a 1 minute long shot, but it would be a car mounted oneer where the car gets hit.
It's a whole car chase sequence.
Well, not the oneer. The oneer is just a car wreck, but the oneer continues after the person the car gets crashed into. So that I've never really seen a oneer like that, where it opens like that and the camera maintains its position like on the back of the vehicle, and continuing the scene like that. I think that would be a really cool, tasty oneer.
Yeah, so do you mean like it follows after the car accident? Or it's
hey man, just wait until you
car.
see it.
Okay. I'm just thinking logistically, just what it is.
He's like, yeah. Either way, it's cool. It's been burned in my head from thinking about it so much,
Mm-hmm.
Oh hell yeah, I'm definitely. I love watching a movie and you're just like, wait a minute, they haven't cut yet. That's so dope.
Yeah.
And then figuring out how the fuck they've done it.
Yeah.
We wanted to with the short, but with short films, I've had experience doing shorts where you're running takes for too long, and then you're like screwing yourself in the edit where you're supposed to keep it under 20 minutes. It's like we just shot a 1.5 minute scene. Yeah, in one take, it looks cool, but now we're really handcuffing ourselves to our runtime.
Yeah.
Like it takes a lot of time on the day to shoot a oneer too, and it's like for a short film on a short budget, short time schedule, it's hard to get rehearsals in and shoot a oneer for that kind of restraints.
Yeah, and what's funny is my first short film I did earlier this year, it's all just a oneer, but it's a dialogue piece, but it's like a 17-minute oneer.
Damn!
Which
okay.
Really, that's all on the actresses. The fact that they memorized all that shit is insane.
Yeah, that's a lot. 17 minutes of stuff.
But I have a shoot coming up at the end of this month where I have to have at least one oneer. I don't know how long it's going to be yet until I get to set that day, but I'm just like, gotta have it.
No, yeah, they're great, and I think when they're done well, they're really effective. I think my favorite oneer of the year is probably from Black Bag. I don't know if you saw Black Bag. It has a great opening, like 3-minute oneer. Yeah. It's fantastic.
That's right.
I'm gonna watch that after this interview, honestly.
Everyone forgot about that movie, and no one saw it. It's one of the top 10 movies of the year, hands down.
Yeah, and Soderbergh, it was a 1-2 punch. He hit us with Presence and then Black Bag like 2 months later or something, right? Wasn't it right?
Yeah. They're very close, yeah.
I love that. That's awesome. I should make this whole podcast just about oneers. It's like every guest I get on the show, it's like, all right, you have to pick your favorite oneer, and we're just going to talk about that for the whole show.
Oh man, that'd be so hard to choose. Like I think, oh man, like Old Boy is just an iconic oneer for me.
Yeah,
I love that one.
Yep. Sinners had a really good oneer.
Yeah.
That was a great sequence, but
they're becoming more and more popular. Not that they never existed before, but I think because people are more aware of them, they're more of a fad, I think, in filmmaking, and they're really fun. Like, I think Finn Parker is one of the better filmmakers right now who people don't talk about often enough.
Ooh.
He did the Smile movies, and he
Smile
has
2's opening.
Great. Oh my God, incredible winner.
Yeah.
That gave that movie like a 4-star. Like, the rest of the movie could have been someone taking a dump, but after that opening for Smile 2, I'm like,
he's
hey.
a great Parker's awesome, man. Yeah, he knows what the
really
fuck he's
is.
doing, and he's great.
Yeah, 100%. I talked to the guy who played part of the entity in the first Smile movie, and that was really interesting. But he didn't play the fleshy boy, which is what I call the entity when it's in its like. I just call him
Fleshy boy.
Yeah, I just call him fleshy boy. If I ever meet Parker Finn, I'm just gonna be like, can you just call the entity fleshy boy instead of trauma entity or whatever he actually calls it? Just feel like it's such a better name. But switching gears here a little bit, so how has the intersection been between filmmaking and running your podcast? And I think that the podcast, I'm sure for you, is kind of taken precedent because it's taken off a little bit, and it's what you and your brother do daily at this point. You guys are always uploading content. How is that intersected with the filmmaking process?
It's interesting because, I'm really fortunate because I get to talk about movies for a living. It's a lot of work. People don't see how many hours we put in every week. And especially
he's always like editing and like coming up with ideas for the next episode and stuff. Yeah, it's a lot.
And maintaining that consistency now for almost 6 years has been it's a lot of work. It's draining at times, but it's a very good way to make a living. I'm very grateful. It is it's the priority because it pays the rent at the end of the day. But I have a great, I think, weekly mental system of balancing out the podcast and then it opening doors as well as facilitating us to be, financially independent to be able to work on projects. I'm able to treat writing like a second job, which is something that I wish I had more time to do. And whenever I get an off day, usually like the first thing I'm doing in the morning is at least writing a little bit to try to get something in before my day begins, because sometimes I'm working all day on the podcast stuff or events. Events take a lot of time too, which is one thing I never thought the podcast would lead to, was how much time I would spend at screenings and events, because they're a blessing and a curse because they do take a lot of time out of my week, to the point where like we have to start turning them down. It's crazy, but I think the podcast has helped me so much. It's helped me, I think, be a better filmmaker, because I knew a lot about movies before I started the show. I've been obsessed with film for years, and I always, for the last 10 years, I wanted to be a filmmaker. But I think because I've been analyzing film from a professional perspective now, I've learned even more about film, learned even more about filmmaking, interviews and deep diving on how filmmakers pull off technical things, and just looking at film more intensely and deeply every time I'm sitting and watching a film, thinking about not just, enjoying the movie, but the technical aspects, what's motivating the characters, why did they write this character do this way, where the motivations leading to, what's the director trying to say with their film, if they're trying to say anything. So I think they, for me, have basically kind of gone hand in hand, and I've loved the process of merging them both and coexisting in my life together. It is a lot of work though, because, I also have a life, or I try to sometimes, outside of my work, but there aren't that many hours for that, and I have to make a lot of sacrifices in terms of like, I should probably maybe not go out if I got invited somewhere, because I should probably either go to bed early or get some work done, and I try to put screenwriting as top of my periphery every day as I can, and so it's difficult at times because of how time consuming the podcast and show can be. But if I didn't do the podcast, I wouldn't be able to have as much freedom at filmmaking right now as I have. So it's still like a process of figuring it all out together at the same time and seeing where it will be in the future.
Yeah, and I think that it's great to find that commonality between both of the things. And personally, I'm really glad to see you guys doing like more interviews and stuff with other creators. Because I think that that's a really good way for you to kind of ask like from a filmmaker perspective, you can ask these creators how they did something or how they approach something, and it's like really you just trying to learn more about the craft, right? And I think that's it's really great for you to have that opportunity.
Yeah, we had Dan Trachtenberg on the show last week. We had like 45 minutes with him, which was so cool, promoting Predator Badlands. And, we were talking about the movie, but then halfway through, I was just like, you started small. You did The Boys pilot, you did 10 Cloverfield Lane, but now you're doing $110 million blockbusters with a huge IP. Like, what's that process been like, or how's that affected you in terms of a filmmaker? He's like, man, at the end of the day, I'm the same guy I was when I made 10 Cloverfield Lane. I'm the same filmmaker. It's just all about maintaining communication and putting good pieces around you. And so that was really cool to hear, because it's like people think like, oh, you're directing a $200 million movie or an Oscar-winning movie. Are you a different person? But for him, from his perspective, he's still the same guy, which is cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sara, what pays the rent for you? Because
stunt work. Mostly
stunt work.
Film
Oh,
work.
Sweet.
Yeah. No, I'm my day-to-day is stunt coordinating, and then I have other projects that I produce or production manage. I music videos, I do stunt workshops.
Sara did the wire rigging and stunt coordinating for Travis Scott at Coachella this year. She's badass.
Awesome.
So if they had people flying in the air on wire rigs, that's Sara coordinated that.
Yeah.
So it's stuff like that pays the bills. So I started from a production background. Like, I started 10 years ago as a baby PA and slowly worked my way up into the world. And that's kind of been my bill payer for a while now.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it's always awesome to be able to do what you love, right? Have you listened to the podcast Action for Everyone podcast?
Never heard of it.
No. I think I know which one you're talking about, though.
So filmmaker Liam O'Donnell is one of the guests, or one of the hosts on it. There's like 3 other hosts, but it's like focus on action movie stuff. And sometimes they'll get like Scott Adkins on there, but they're like, I think everybody a part of it is very involved with action movies. And I feel like, that's something that, both of you loving action, you guys might be interested in something like that.
Yeah.
What's it called again?
Action for Everyone.
Looking this up, adding to the list. So many good recs.
And Liam O'Donnell in particular, he's been doing the Skyline movies, and he's been collaborating a lot with Iko Uwais, the guy from The Raid, the main character.
Oh,
that's sick. Yeah, he's awesome.
I probably butchered the name, but I love him too. He's fantastic in everything he's in. So for the last question here, I ask everybody the same first question, same last question. So where do you guys see yourselves in 5 years?
Oh,
good question.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of see myself doing the same thing, just with more money.
Bigger scale.
Bigger crews, but doing the same thing.
Yeah. And then with me, it's interesting because my podcast is only 5 years old. And, when I look back at June 2020, when we started, and we had the only listener was our mom. And now, I've interviewed Robert Pattinson this year. I met Harrison Ford, just had Trachtenberg on, and it's just like grown so much. And I'm so fortunate that so much hard work paid off and people tune in around the world. I'd like to continue growing the show and have it coexist with filmmaking as well. But I feel like in 5 years, if Sara and I haven't put out at least 3 other feature-length films, then I don't know, we're doing something wrong, because that's our goal, is to make features next. We really would like to shoot something next year, 2026, and so that's like really what I want to do, is make a movie like every 2 years, if not more. And so
pretty good timeline.
Yeah,
2 years.
Yeah. So I feel like in 5 years, if we don't have 3 feature-length films under our belt, we gotta take a hard look in the mirror. But that's where I want to be. The podcast being bigger, having more guests on that work in the industry, and then filmmaking.
Yeah, awesome. And I think that with your you know, kind of that stunt performer mindset you have for filmmaking, I think you could easily get 3 movies out. You know, you guys have, I think efficiency is something that goes underappreciated in the field, and if you've already got it, I think you guys are going to be maybe not Steven Soderbergh level of like 2 movies in 1 year, but you can do it.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have the right team around you, that's the thing. If you build the right team, you can do a lot of shit.
Dude, Osgood Perkins makes a movie every year now.
I was just going to bring him up, yeah. The Monkey and Keeper, both 2025, and then he's got another one coming out. He's
filming right now, yeah. He just went into production last week.
Yeah, and then he's probably going to do another one right after that.
That's what happens when your movie makes $100 million on a $5 million budget. Neon's like, whatever you want to do, let's do it.
You can have all the money.
Right, that's amazing.
He's a great writer and a great filmmaker,
Yeah, 100%. I love that. But awesome. Thank you so much for talking with me. It was really great being able to talk with you guys. One Klick is super awesome. I love action, and being able to see it done at that indie level, I think is such a great thing, and should not go, you know, under appreciated. You know, I think you guys did something really good. Dirt biking, I used to dirt bike back in the day, so seeing a dirt bike show up in something always like gets me excited. You know,
nice.
Brings me back. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me today, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Sean. It was fun.
Before we close out, I did find that fake blood
yes.
company. It's called Gravity and Momentum.
Gravity and Momentum. I love the picture too. Look at that.
Yeah. Speaking of children.
Oh, that's a child. Oh God.
It is a child. So it's child safe.
Oh, that's a very good marketing way to show that it's child safe too. Is put the blood on the child.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, Gravity and Momentum.
Okay, cool.
Wherever you need him to. But yeah, he's he makes all the blood himself, so you know it's gonna be good.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I'm definitely.
He puts his own blood in it too.
Yeah, he's. And you said it doesn't stain?
Yeah, it doesn't stain.
Oh, that's good.
And
because...
there's no harsh chemicals or anything in it, like toxic, so you can put it in your mouth and swallow it and all that stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And yeah, thanks again. Thank you guys for coming on here.
Thanks, Sean. Appreciate it.